All right, looks like this thing is live. Let's see here. ZBrush time. The heck did I do with my stylus? Oh, there's bubbles. I got bubbles from the wedding that I was at the other day. Should be fun. Let me make sure ZBrush open. Sorry, I had to. I just played Dr. Mario with Natalie for a little longer because she beat me on one of the games, which is atypical. She didn't. She said she heard that. I think she didn't hear that. But the game actually took longer because she did whoop my butt on one of the games. And we played 2 out of 3. So I won the first one. She won the second one. So we had to go to round 3. So it took a little longer. But I'm back. I'm opening ZBrush right now. A little behind the scenes here. So we'll go load tool. I'm going to get this thing opened up. Troy Shorts number 4 is the what this one's called. So new. Alright, got this subtool. I'm going to get this guy selected and I'm sorry about that. Now I'm going to switch back over to display. Turn on my display mode. There we go. Just gotta share my screen. There's some way to, like, I used to be able to share just ZBrush, but every time I try it now, it doesn't work. And maybe there was an update to the OBS Studio or whatever. Hello, Kevin. Hope you don't mind me saying I love this channel. It's like hanging out and talking to old friends. I appreciate that a lot. That is awesome. That is hopefully what it's going to be like here. And I've streamed on here before a long time ago, but like 2016 or something, whenever they started doing streaming, I tried it a couple times. But now I'm going to be doing it a lot more often, I've decided, and I'm going to try to do just that. Make it like a hangout. I can work and then hang out at the same time. So back here, and you can see all these details are how wonky these are. So I got to sharpen this guy up just like I did on the other side. These are pretty much the only things. Just the back of the shorts here, the only part with a really sharp detail, and the front of it, I'm going to print it and see if it needs a little more tweaking, but I think its front is mostly good. And there's little bolts on the sides there. I got to kind of sharpen those. I'm debating whether I'm going to physically make a part, which I did before. And I actually have somewhere a model of that shorts bolt for the side of the shorts that I 3D printed. So on my castings here that I have, you can see that bolt is nice and crisp and new looking because I modeled it and I put it on my casting, so when I mold it, it's in the casting. So anyway, I might do that shortly. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can just have a little HD vision here. Boom, my cheaters. BPI, this is the pinch tool. I'll come over here and do the thing I was doing before. I'm just going to go along here and sharpen this stuff up, even it out a little so it's not so weird. And now that I've turned the resolution up, it might be even better and easier. Again, I would like to, once I get this all really settled, I will go in and remesh the whole thing so I got a very clean mesh to work with. And we'll go from there. Yeah, see how it's like the depth of this thing is not fully consistent. That is part of the real shorts are like that. So super cool times. And looking sweet, looking very sweet. Down. So yeah, so anyway, this is my night tonight. Doing ZBrush, trying to be as fancy as possible. What did we do last night? We went to oops, a little too big there. We went to a show at a place called Dynasty Typewriter, and it was like a scripted drama of a soap opera, but it's all performed by really funny actors. So it was like a serious, over-the-top script for like a drama sitcom series but everybody that was in it was hilarious, which made it very funny. And it was their first time reading the script, so they basically went up there and just literally saw the script for the first time and did their interpretation. It was very good. And if you've ever seen Righteous Gemstones, Edie Patterson, who plays Judy Gemstone, was one of the actors up there. She's super funny, super funny. We've watched her for years at the Groundlings, and she's just always funny. And if you've seen Righteous Gemstones, you probably know who I'm talking about. She is hilarious on that as well. I think my next 1/1 print will be 000. Yeah, that 000 is cool. When I was in Japan last month, or not last month, in December, a month and a half ago now, actually about 2 months ago. Can't believe it's been that long. Time goes by way too fast. When I was in Japan, there was a shop there that had all the Star Wars stuff, and it was closed every time I went by. I missed the hours. Like, I got there just a little too early one day, and it wasn't open yet, but I didn't have time to hang out. And then on the way back, I had missed it again, and it closed like 20 minutes before I got up there. So I passed that shop 3 times, and I just never got to see it. But I looked in the windows, and it had a surprising amount of 000 merch, which I think was a friend of mine, my friend Christian. I think that they used pictures of his droid to make the stuff, which is funny because sometimes these places don't know that it's not like the real thing, because people just don't know this stuff as well. For Hasbro, on their displays, had a picture of me in my C-3PO on their displays, and that was hilarious. I saw a picture pretty recently. 86J7, or the one you're working on, is tempting me. Which is that the RA7 droid or the CZ3 droid? I'm kind of doing a little bit of both. In the CZ3 will be the what am I saying? The CZ3. Hopefully, I'll have that kind of done soonish. It'd be fun to have something for Celebration Japan, but I don't think I'm gonna go through the trouble to lug a costume all the way over there. I'm actually kind of curious to whether I can get on a panel or not. I feel like I've done enough stuff that I could warrant getting on one, but I just don't know how to go about it. And that would be cool, because we bought tickets, but I feel like if I got on a panel, I could get a free admission for the day and sell my ticket, which would be nice. Alright, flatten this sucker out here. I gotta reestablish that center line, because what I'm doing is kind of killing it a little tiny bit. Oh yeah, RA7 droid. Yeah, that's one of my favorites since I was a kid. And the one I have now, I really like, but I want to do a different finish. But because it was screen used, I don't want to change it. So I'm gonna make a completely new costume, and then the one that was on Skeleton Crew is gonna just never get changed again. I'll probably never wear it again, because I feel like the value of it went up a lot because it was on screen. And you never know with these things too. Like when you film stuff, I sat there for 2 years waiting for this thing to come out, not knowing whether the scene would make it final cut or not. You just don't know. It seems like a moment that would, but it's hard to tell until it's out. I've seen some pretty cool stuff end up on the cutting room floor. We're like, oh, they filmed this whole thing and it's not there. But I don't know. Yeah, RS7 has always been my favorite. It's a really good. It's a very nice. It's I don't know what it is. Since I was a kid, it's such a weird looking robot, and it's like it has a little tiny bit of a creepy factor to it, which I think is cool. The bug droid or Death Star droid. I think if I do another version, it's going to be very shiny silver. But to be honest, I would do, if they were still filming here all the time, I would just build a couple more suits and then work on seeing if they would use them in the shows. BDS is the Damien Standard Brush, which we're going back to now. Actually, BST. I'm going to go to Standard Brush and use this because it's not quite as pointy as the Damien Standard. And I'm going to go this width here. I think that's, if I go too much more than this, it starts to look wrong. So this is like a fully freehand sculpt of this guy. Oh, there I go again, hitting that stupid thing. I don't know what I'm hitting to do that. Bring up that menu. Something with my hands bumps that thing, and I don't like it. I don't like it very much. All right, so let's see. Yeah, this is a thing with the resolution. Is the whole shorts is like over 6 million polygons or something, but I really don't need that much detail except on these stupid lines. And once I can get these things kind of reestablished a little bit better, I can probably turn the resolution back down once I get a crisper edge on this thing. Because the amount of polygons I'm using is way too much. Again, fine for sculpting, but it's just like, look at it, the detail is pretty good. If I was sculpting like a creature or something, this is like fine enough for that, but these shorts are much simpler. All right, let's, basically what I'm doing is digging this hole back out, this little crevice, and then I gotta go back and resharpen the edges on the inside edge of this thing. We'll even them out so they're not weird. So now, that's Natalie talking to the cats up there. Access the secret brotherhood. Wow, thanks guys. This is quite the compliment. It's pretty fun. I'm glad everybody is here. BPI. And so, a long time ago, I painted. I did artwork my whole life, but I started like doing artwork and painting to sell paintings. And when I would do those, well, what I would do is get people that wanted to hang out. At the time, it kind of stopped being as social. And what I would do is say, if you want to hang out, you can hang out, but we got to hang out at my house while I paint, because it's the only way I was going to get all my stuff done, because I couldn't just go, hang around and fart around with my friends if I was going to get anything done. So, come hang out, and then that'll work. And I feel like this feels kind of like the same thing. I feel like I'm productive, but I'm also socializing a little bit, and that's kind of fun. And maybe somebody can learn something from what I'm doing, or I can get some tips and help me learn some stuff. You never know. People have good advice from time to time, so it doesn't hurt to have somebody looking over your shoulder. Although it is weird to go through the stages of things where, you make a prop and there's, 85% of the process just feels awful, like it just looks bad, it's not there yet, and having people see those stages is always kind of weird to me, because I don't like to show stuff till it's like done. Or like something like this. If I was making something like this for myself and I was just going to print it and I wasn't going to post it for other people, I would probably just be fine with this, and then when I did the cleanup on the part, the 3D stuff, I would just clean up any little boogers. It would take me like all of a few minutes, but I don't want to do that for anybody who's going to download and then print these things. I want them to be cleaner. They're not gonna be perfect because the real ones are not perfect, but I'm gonna try to get them as close as possible to what they would kind of feel like. Like, let me see these the little warbles in the surface here, like that. You see that little funky stuff? So if I can go back and forth, get these lines just a little more consistent. They don't need to be perfect. More consistent. Again, I'm going for like screen used kind of feel versus the, you know, super perfected, you know, super symmetrical kind of thing. I want them to feel like the screen used shorts. It's just different. It's like when that company did the Stormtrooper helmets. I brought this up probably last time I was on here, where they made them really symmetrical and they just didn't quite feel right. But when they're sculptural and they're a little asymmetrical, it feels like the real deal. And I really like that. There we go. See, start to get that little inner edge sort of cleaned back up. And it'll be nice. It'll be very nice. Yeah, so again, my goal, I'm going to throw these on the printer. If it's not perfect, it's okay. I want to get them on the printer so I can see this. So now I'm going to re-dynamesh everything, bring it back out. Again, slightly over sharp for the 20th time, but on purpose, because I want them to knock down to the level that they would be on the real ones. Because once you start sanding the surfaces and stuff, I don't want to like have to be super careful. And if a little bit of quick sanding actually knocks the edge down, that's not a bad thing. I'm actually really curious too, just how they print with the pt2, like how they print and how they're gonna fit, and what I can get away with as far as, do I print them as a whole with the, you know, the top and the bottom like this and then cut the strings out, or do I finesse the inside, specifically in this area right here along the back inside? That's going to be an overhang, and I want to compensate that so that it's a little easier to print, because I don't want to have to use support material if I can help it. There's probably going to be like a little bit in this area, maybe like a thing. I almost could do like a little fin that came down and supported that area just a little bit. Let's see. What's funny is one of my posts when I was working on these shorts like a week ago got partially demonetized, and I think it's because it thought I was showing some like skin or something. I had like this material here, one of these, I think like this one, and when I backed out, it flagged the actual live stream, and I had to go in and have it manually reviewed. I was like, I don't know what it's showing. There's nothing here, but it got flagged nonetheless. So I had to have a manual review done to get my monetization back on that one, which is silly. All right, let's bring this guy back up. See, I made it a little too low here. It's got a little funk in it. All right, I'm actually gonna turn this hinge thing off. I'm just gonna very gently finesse this back to an edge. And see how it goes. And yeah, these shorts will be good for most of the protocol droids. And we will see how they do. Oh my gosh. Alright. This is one of those spots where the fine line starts to blend into the soft edge of the shorts. So I gotta be true to that. I might open up some reference photos here and take a look and see what I can, see if I'm doing it right. I kind of like the perfect look, like I'm a droid off the line. That's the thing, is I like it to be like, I'm trying to hit that mix of cleaned up, but also with the, you know, the asymmetry of the old school sculpts. Because, you know, I grew up with all these movies, and there's like just a look, an aesthetic that I really, really, really dig. And if I can hit that, then great. Oops, no, that's not what I want to do. Hit the L, which bring back that. See that lazy mouse, that little red line it toes behind. It's kind of doing a weird pinch there. See how it's jumped so many pixels that it's not grabbing. So what I have to do now is re-dynamesh like this. Sit back and 6.7 million polygons. All right, I'm gonna circle this guy. Just work on this section here, and this will keep it, easier to deal with. Autosave in progress. All the prop replicas I've worked on for myself have been in SolidWorks, largely because I'm addicted to dimensions. I typically feel that way with a lot of things. So if I'm making something for me, then I do that. And if I need very specific dimensions, like this is off of a scan, so the dimensions are going to be accurate to the original, but it's a weird shape, so it's kind of hard to, super line up the pieces like you would in, if you're modeling something in SolidWorks or Fusion, or even like 3D Studio Max is really good at dimensions, and just getting those things to line up properly is good. I mean, the little bolts on the sides of the, I bet I have those still. The little bolts that are on the sides of the shorts, those are done in Fusion 360. And let me actually see if I can have them, because maybe I'll swap them out for the ones that are on there, so I don't have to like resharpen the edges. See, that's the thing for me, is my brain fights with that. I'm very, very center brain. So like the side of me, watch, I'm like, I'm just gonna connect this to this in ZBrush, and I'll just bang out a cylinder and poke a hole in one thing, and then you just print it. I'm like, what size is that? I want to know that like hardware will fit properly versus just winging it. And because of that, I kind of get myself slowed down from time to time on some projects, trying to figure out like how the best way. I mean, the droid I did for Jedi Temple Challenge, I blocked it in ZBrush to get the shapes kind of where I wanted them, and then I remodeled a decent amount of it in Fusion 360. I did the legs in Fusion 360. After doing them in ZBrush, I did the arms in Fusion 360. I did the backpack in Fusion. It fights that. You can like add thickness, and it'll be okay, but it's never quite exact. I guess technically you could go in and like figure out your measurement, find out how many units the thing is, do it by the units. It'll be okay. But always it's just a little, that part of my brain, which I'm sure you have the same exact thing going on. You just want to know, like, this is 2 millimeters thick. If I want to put a bolt through it, I know that 2 millimeters thick is going to be a good amount. And for the most part, I've gotten pretty good at getting it close, but again, it just feels sort of wrong just not having it exact. There's a lot of stuff that I'm getting into here that probably you won't even see when you print it. I'm not going to mess with this. I could be a tiny bit sharper, but I'm not going to do it. I think I'm going to go on the print and then print it, see how that comes out. I'm going to come back to this back part in a minute. I'm going to look at these guys here. Let's see where these things are at. Let's see. So, okay, what's the coolest way? I could just go like this. I can go insert cylinder. Okay. And turn off perspective. I'm going to put these lined up as best I can just on the side here. And bong. This is not exactly the way I want to do this, but shrink it down like so. And if you want to shrink it like this, keep the length the same, but shrink it. Basically, so if you hold this guy and do this, it'll squish it by the length. But if I hit this, whichever direction, I hold Alt, it'll shrink it this way. If that makes sense. So if I'm doing here, see how it squishes it this way. But if I hold Alt, it'll squish it the opposite way. So I'm gonna go this way, get it close, and I'm gonna hold Alt and then bring it into the close to the correct width here. So we can look at it. Again, this is something I would rather do in Fusion. Actually, should I bring the one in from Fusion? I don't know. That's fine. That's pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pill. I think that's what it's called. In the like rounded ends, but I want to keep it. So it doesn't quite go to a perfect circle on the edges there. Let's try this. We'll keep going smaller, smaller, smaller. Bring that over here. Now what I should do is just make a box and round out the edges. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. It's very, very small. Kind of like this-ish. Oops. Why are you fighting me? Oh yeah, it did work. Okay. No, fuck it. I'm gonna do this. Duplicate. It's giving me too much grief. I'm gonna go to 90. Cool. And then I'm gonna merge down. Okay. Okie dokes. Now I should have messed with this more. I don't know why I just merged it already. Ooh, audio drop. Sorry about that, guys. It's probably my computer. It's like the computer is pretty much fine. It's too big. I made it too big. Computer's pretty much fine with most things, but the if I push it too hard, hang on a second, then I sometimes will drop out on audio or something. It's happened a couple times before. Let me try this again. Trying to get the right amount of curve at the end of the little piece there. It's probably close enough. If it looks stupid, I'll just print it right on the next one. Let's do it again. Go about half the depth. Duplicate. Turn it. You can, if I hold Control and drag, it'll make another one. But for some reason, Control and drag doesn't duplicate if I rotate it. But so if you want to rotate, like make it extras, it'll do that. It'll stay within the same subtool. I don't know why it wants to fight me otherwise. Now this edge here looks very soft on the scan, but it is not that soft in real life. So anyway, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go here. Oh yeah, merge down, okay, and we'll take this guy and bring it up a little bit, basically center it there. So you can look at it and it is not perfectly centered, so I gotta move it around a little bit. This part is very small too, by the way, so if it's trying to find the sweet spot between where this lives, because it's this weird little rounded part in the inside you don't really see on the screen used one. It's not quite as soft of a detail. So Let's see here. There's a couple things I could do. I can snap this to world. Go here. And yeah, I feel like I'll just do this for the test. I'm gonna go make sure that's centered. Go to world, it'll go away. See what this one. Center, go to world, it'll go away. Now they're over down here. Now I got this selected, this guy. And we make sure this on top here, we turn live Boolean, and then we get this little thing, which kind of has this weird thing in the middle. So, it's fine. With this, I can kind of control how deep this sits too, so I can, it's kind of halfway point. I'm going to go slightly shallow. Is it overemphasized? Maybe. Am I going to run with it? Yeah, I'll do it for this one because this is my test and I can look at it. If it's terrible, then I can just do whatever. So right now I'm going to go down to Boolean, make Boolean mesh, boink, and up here, it should, if I did it right, did it do it? Did it not do it right? Oh, you know what it did? Gave me this goofy thing, the U mesh. So we're going to go to insert, U mesh, and I forgot to hide that part. So we're going to solo this. I'm going to select this. Go to geometry, modify topology, delete hidden, unsolo it. Now we got a little button that's all on its own. That should turn up the geometry on the side. Again, very small, so it's probably not going to make a big difference. I'll crank it up a little bit before I combine it out. But I just want to make sure this thing prints the way I want, because if I need to do major changes, I want to find out. And this is a thing that I will live with for mine, but I will update it on the other ones. If it doesn't look good printed, I'll make a little adjustment to it. That's pretty cool. And I'm going to go turn the resolution up. Turn the resolution up. Okay, let's look at this guy. Okay, we're going to solo this here really quick. I'm going to make the faces a different color. There's BSR. Select that front end here. Kind of got a little chunk of that other piece. Hide that. Let's change the color of this. Go like that. And then we'll go to crease, which is right here. I'm going to say crease polygroups, which is this one. I'm going to turn down the resolution by going to Z remesher, or Z modeler. And I should have done this beforehand, because in the when you make a cylinder, you can control how many facets it has. I should, if I was smart, should have turned that up previously, and I did not, which is okay. I'm gonna go like this. I'm actually gonna go uncrease all. Oops, uncrease all. Crease polygroups. Now, if I turn this up, always yes. Oops, gotta make the polygroup on the back. Sorry, guys. I'm a dummy. Solo this. We'll look at it here. All right, this back needs to be its own polygroup. Boom. Okay, put it back. Now we go back here. Uncrease all. Crease polygroups. And now we go to smooth, and I can turn this up to dynamic subdivision. We're going to turn this up more so that those lines on the sides smooth out. A little thing in here, like I feel like I could soften these lines on the inside, but it's tiny. So I don't know if I'm going to mess with it. It's probably fine. Perfect example of my obsessive compulsive. I have to ask myself whether the screw would be sitting exactly 12 o'clock or 11 degrees clockwise. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, you should see the other thing I'm working on right now. I'm working on the RX droid, which I did all the modeling. Now it's all done in Fusion. tons of mechanical pieces in there that have to interact properly, and I spent a lot of time doing that. And David Ferreira, who modeled the animatronics for the head, like the pan and tilt for the head and the upper arm mech, he's a super smart guy. The thing works great, but the file is like, I don't even know, probably 10 times the amount of parts it needs to have to do the same thing. So I'm keeping his design. The actual mechanism is going to work the same, but I'm simplifying the file so much. And I just went through that today because he sent the parts from SolidWorks, which 90 freaking 8% of the time works great. We sent files back and forth a ton of times, but for some reason when he sent the head this time, it was like came in at the wrong angle, and then a couple of pieces were not lined up where they're supposed to be, and just sorting the pieces to get the whole group of parts to move where it's supposed to, because the way it was all grouped together didn't make any sense, was like a nightmare. I thought this would take 15 minutes, and it took like hours today. But I went through this giant file and deleted like hundreds and hundreds of extra parts. I swear to God, he had like every nut and bolt when it came in from SolidWorks. Instead of being, it's like they're all labeled properly, which is really great because it's got all the sizes, dimensions, part number for like MasterCard, all that stuff is in the file name. But every single bolt, every single nut, every little metal bearing or whatever, that came in its own folder with the name, with its own origin points, and then with its own solid underneath, or its own bodies underneath for every folder, for every single part. So I was like, this is crazy. So I basically detached everything from its own coordinates, so that, because if I went to move it, everything would move like individually all over the place. It wouldn't come out together. So I had to, change all the stuff so things weren't instancing each other all over the place, and just deleted like half of them, because half the stuff he has bolted together, I basically just went in and like combined tons of pieces just to make like a part, like a single piece that could do the same thing. When his would have like a chunk here, and then some like off the shelf connector aluminum bits that you just don't need. It's just way too much stuff. It's so many parts and so much assembly, and then like I was like, this is crazy. It's crazy. It's gonna take me forever to put this back together. So that is what I did. All right, so this guy, now that I've done bitching about that, all right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to apply, where was I at before? Geometry. We're going to go to dynamic subdivision, just hit apply. And now that I got that, I'm going to go to ZRemesher, keep groups, and let's just remesh this. Oops, freeze board. Let's just remesh this and see what it looks like. And we'll see if it works real good. Oh shit, pack and go. Oh, you mean like the way he exported the files? Is that what you mean? Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. It was, everything was its own. It was so nightmarish. I mean, I can't even. I was gonna lose my mind. I was like, this is crazy. And and as I work on it, I mean, again, worked great. And in the version I'm doing, even though I'm modifying all these pieces and simplifying it a bunch, it's going to still be compatible with the screen used ones. About probably 95% plus would be compatible with a screen used droid, which is kind of what I want to go for. I want it to be awesome and accurate and all that kind of stuff. So oops, so I'm trying to see what I can get away with here, and that's probably enough. That's probably clean enough. Again, there's a couple little boogers here, but it's going to be so little that I don't think those are even going to show up when I do this. So I'll do one. Let me see how. I'm gonna split the difference on the face. I'm gonna kind of go like this. Chadonk. And I want to just fish out this edge here, but honestly, I'm a little scared. All right, so let's solve this. Undo. Click back to this guy. Undo it. Yeah, we're gonna live with that guy. That is gonna be the new one. And if it sucks, then I will change it. So now we're gonna copy it. You're gonna hold down Control and then move it over. And turn around 180 degrees. Are you 3D printing a button? I am not. Well, there's a little fastener on the side of these shorts, and I am replacing the scanned one with a little one that I just modeled. Which, see, this one looks like it's too chunky. It's okay. I'm gonna go with this for this pair of shorts, and then again, just a test for right now. And if it's terrible, then I just start over, do an updated version, which I'll probably make an adjustment on it. But I think I'm going to do these in Fusion, just really make them good. Actually, let me look here. This is crazy. I got to open Fusion, but I can't show you guys everything. So I got to switch back here. Go to me. Hey guys. All right, now let me switch here. I'm going to save my project in case I crash something for some reason. Oh, save the shorts. A step file should do the trick in most cases. That's the thing, is with the step files, if we're sending one part back and forth, that's typically what we did. But he had redone this whole assembly, so it's just like tons of pieces that he added to my file. And when he sent it back, it was all like wonky. And we had sent stuff back a bunch of times already, and for some reason, this new one just came in all weird. I was like, Dave, what the fuck is this? It's a part of my language. And now I'm like, dealing with getting it all together correctly. I've got and currently I'm doing two versions, because I'm doing the version I'm doing for myself right now, which has my versions of Dave's setup. Again, like if you took any of the screen use parts off of the screen use droid, they would be compatible with my internals on this one that I'm working on. The next one that I do, I'm redoing the whole interior. I'll probably keep a handful of Dave's just pivot points and so forth, but I'm probably going to redo a ton of stuff just because I want it to be much easier to print, much easier to print. Because right now it's just a nightmare. There's unnecessary. Like if you just change one thing, you could print it without any support material. But right now it's like you have to print tons of support material, which means tons of cleanup and extra time and all this stuff. I actually, that's the thing. We use step files for just about everything. The file he sent back over was in a step file, but it was just massive, full of components and stuff. So it just made it nightmarish. Okay, sorry, hold on a second. I'm gonna go to Fusion really quick. Fusion 360 and see if I can find my button. Another thing too is when I did my little buttons for this guy, the hidden little trick is underneath the edge of the button down here. It's on there. So if anybody bought a casting of my shorts, you could freaking see this little hint down underneath the button. I never showed that to anybody. Let me see it. You probably see it on the gold ones. You actually see it really good on the gold ones. I don't know. These are pretty weathered and beat up, but underneath the little guy, little tiny GT. All right, I'm in Fusion right now. Behind the scenes, I got to go through some files, and some of them are NDA, so I can't show everything. So let me scroll down, see if I can find that button I made. I made it in 2018. So if I'm going by date, I'm gonna go way back. There it is, shorts bolt right there. Okay, 2018, November 18th, 2018. And there it is, and it's got a little spike on the back. So when I print it here, I'm gonna open it. I'll switch over so you guys can see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna close my. You guys can see that. I don't care. Go back to scene. Down. Back to Fusion. So here's the shorts bolt. You can see it's got a little spike on the back. I did that because it needed to be plugged into a piece of clay. Because I sculpted shorts out of clay, so I plugged that sucker in, and this kind of stabbed in, and there's my initials on the bottom, and there's the bolt. And it's a little sharper than the real ones. They're kind of like you know, the edges are a little bit softer. So that is that. You can see all this 3PO legs version 1. Those are my ones I started 2019. I started these and I never got back to them. 3PO neck bolt, cantina dispenser top, 3PO hand antenna, cantina outer canister. These are the CAD things for the ones at Disney. Harbor Freight K3 paint gun thing. EV99 neck. This is the original version. Really, really good, but just slightly wrong scale. Bunch of stuff in here. Anyway. I'm gonna get distracted. Should I? Yeah, I think I'm gonna export this one again here, and we will go from there. Oops. Yeah, most of the stuff here isn't top secret anymore. There's like stuff that I did for Regal Robot. I didn't this Mando detonator thing. This is my version. The one that is on the Regal Robot magnet is Sean Fields did it, but I did this one, and mine's more accurate than the magnet version. There's something on the magnet version that when they did it, I was like, you gotta change this thing. It's gonna make me nuts. But so anyway, this is the Mandalorian detonator guy. I'll put these up online too. I never put them anywhere. There's the Falcon from Regal Robot when I did the asteroid pencil holder. Oh my god, did you see that? That was weird. I didn't lose it. It's still here. It's freaking out on me for some reason. Oh, this one was file was really dense for some reason. I shouldn't be doing this right now. I got to do work, guys. I want to be able to go to sleep tonight with a print on the printer. I got to stop goofing around. Look at this. Oh, that's right. When I did this one, it has like 1 million faces, and they were all connected a certain way. I really need to go in and just like, I haven't opened this for years. So this was from 5 years ago, practically. So more than 5 years ago. Wow, it's crazy. Just look at it. Computer offset faces. Usually it doesn't have to compute this much. I don't know why. There it is. Mini Falcon. And it's a little tiny guy. And I'd done one that was super detailed, and it was like looked like the real thing, but it was so little that the detail didn't show up. So we did this like chunkified version of them that would go on the end of the pencil, and this one like looked at that size. It read correctly, but it was all chunked up. It was pretty fun to make. No, don't save. And don't want that. All right, let's look at this guy. So I'm gonna export this, but I'm gonna go back to me for. While I export. Beer. Where did I put it? I scrolled around and I lost it. Oh, it's right here. Save as mesh. Export. Millimeter, sure. Okay. C3PO short bolt. Now I've been saving all these to the RX24 print. This is gonna go to the desktop. Short bolt. Okay, cool. Yeah, I slipped it on there. I try to hide little initials on anything that I post. Most things have some tiny little hidden thing. So if someone copied my shit, I could find it. I'll be like, nope, that one's mine. Oh, I've gone mute. Am I mute now? Let me see. What did I do? It looks like I'm on my other monitor. I'm way out of sync. Sorry about that. Yeah, I slipped it on there. I try to hide little. Let's see here. It's freaking out on me. Let me save this. We'll see if it comes back here in a second. All right, I'm gonna close Fusion. Oops. Update next session. Cool. It is like frozen up. Sorry, guys. Huh. You're good. It's funny. I actually paused it on the other machine that I'm watching, and it looked like it froze. But I see the audio is way off. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna see if I change this. Maybe it'll. We'll go down here. Just don't look at my face. I'll just talk. All right, back in ZBrush, ZBrush. It's really behind. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know how to fix that. Maybe for the sake of your ears, I'll just call it for the night, and then I'll just knock this out. I'll come back in the morning. I'll probably do some more ZBrush tomorrow because I got to make the foam version. So I'll probably be back on here, and I'll show you what I've done, and then and yeah, come back. But I hate it to be so out of sync. Out of sync stuff makes me crazy. So my apologies.